speed right now. Oh, yes. And I have to add the message, this meeting is being recorded. So if you're not comfortable with that, you may want to mute and put your camera off just in case. So welcome and grounding. What I would love for all of you to do is put your name, and if you're connected to a school, put it in the chat as well. And one word on something that you are looking forward to this summer. And for me, it would be just simply sunshine. I just can't wait for sunshine. So let's type these in the chat. Travel, right, the lake, yes. Walking the dog, vitamin D, vacation, the lake. Jean, I had just said today that I forgot my flowers out last night, and I'm very hopeful that I don't go home to dead flowers. Darcy's going to Alaska too, nice. Claudia, the heat, yes. Boundary Waters. Lita, are you going to host at the Boundary Waters again?
We are, yep. So come visit Sawbill Outfitters.
Can you share, tell people what you do in the summer, because it's amazing.
So my husband and I'd worked with this outfitter as a college kid. It's called Sawbill Canoe Outfitters. And last summer, the campground host position came open for the first time in 30 years. And so we'll spend our summer there again. My husband's a teacher as well. And so we're able to do some distance there, like some virtual meetings and things like that from an ice shack. So anyway, come visit. It's lovely.
Nice. Travel, warmth, pool days, sunshine, walks, reading books, all those things sound amazing. I myself am finishing my administrator's license. And so I'm like feeling a little, I was in a cold sweat about the pictures. Now I'm a little resentful because I have more work to do. No fair. Okay. Clearly it's the last meeting. I'm a little goofy. So.
Hey, I have my hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't see your hand up, Julie Ruzek. Please share.
Well, I just want to say kudos to you for navigating district family engagement meetings virtually for an entire year. It's been a little bit fun with lots of surprise guests, but you figured it out and we got a whole year under our belts. So kudos to you, and thank you, Melissa.
Woo, we made it. Thank you, Julie, for the shout out. I appreciate it. I can't say that it was always, I didn't, there were a couple meetings that I left a little concerned, but I'm feeling much better now. Go, Branko, yes. Okay, so if we could do a little whip around or a little couple, I would love 5 or 6 share outs that I know the schools are doing really cool things to end of the year. 5th grade graduations, what successes are you seeing in your students at home or at school? What kind of fun, exciting next events, fun things are happening? We have 9 graduation announcements already at our house. So weekends are going to become graduation events, and I'm looking forward to cupcakes for those. Other share outs. I'm a call on people. Mr. Willman took your mic off.
What a great read around. Yeah, I'd be happy to share one of the things that we did recently. We did a read around the world where we had students in our EL classes bring favorite books that they had, and they had their parents read and the kids translate, and it was just an amazing experience for our kids. Everybody was invited to it, and we had a good turnout. So that was fantastic. And we also had in our school, we had Eagle Bingo for teacher appreciation, and the teachers were the squares. So it was kind of fun.
Oh, fun. That's awesome. I would have liked to have seen the reading experience. Did the parents do it virtually or in person?
That was all virtual.
Okay. Awesome.
At Sunset, this week is Scholastic's book fair, and so we interviewed a few parents or volunteers. So I interviewed my neighbor who is a male nurse, and I thought that would be nice to show the boys that you can be a nurse and a cool nurse. And so he read 2 books for the kiddos, and I videotaped it, and so somebody's going to see it sometime online this week. And transportation fair is happening, and we're excited, and we need volunteers, and I'm very excited for 2 locations. Yay, yay, yay. That's it.
And what is the date of the transportation?
It's this Saturday on the 15th, and we're at 2 locations. So we're going to be at Mighty Oaks. There's going to be about 10 cars there. And at Hoover, there's going to be about 20 cars there. So we're doing 2 locations at the same time.
Awesome.
So, and the bathrooms are not available, unfortunately, but I did create the event on Facebook, and I tried to share it to a few people this week. So, yay.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. If you want to send me a little blurb, I can make sure it goes out with the minutes too.
Very good.
Couple more. Heidi Howe, what's cool happening at Gage? Heidi has her camera off. Will Ruffin, what's cool happening at Gage? Will, camera.
I'm sorry, I was in mid snack. I turned my cover out. I was just like, okay, I got this. Well, you can share. We're doing lots of really great things. We just had a family engagement meeting this morning. And I think the most proud thing for that moment was, I think we had 3 parents that shared how they see family engagement this school year through their lens. And that was really powerful.
I'll share one quickly. Our teachers are engaged in identity projects in the classroom. So each grade level is doing some type of activity that relates to the students' identities. And then they're going to place those projects in the hallway for everyone to see. And then the last week of school, we're going to do like a little tour where people can go around and see all of the projects that students created, but the focus is on their identity. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Will that be open to outside people at all?
I don't know if anything's open to outside people right now, so I'm going to refrain from answering.
Some of it will be virtual. I know Amber Henry, they're doing an identity book, and they're going to have QR codes, so they'll be able to share that they could, do the identity of each one of the kiddos, and it will be translated. So they're doing it in Spanish, but it'll be translated to English.
Oh, that's so neat.
And maybe we could make, like, our broadcast team could make a little video whip around, because I think we have 700 kids, so I think if we invited families, we would get to be too many.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. Yeah, Maddie just said, loves that idea, how powerful for your students. Okay, last call for anybody doing anything that they want to share out, successes.
Okay,
right.
I'll go really quick, and this is just a different way of thinking about family engagement. And I hope I haven't shared this before, but we now have completely installed washing machines and dryers in all of our community school sites in or near the family resource rooms that are open to whoever needs to wash their clothes. And you wouldn't necessarily think that that's a big deal until you would need that resource. And it's making a difference, a real difference for people that need that resource. So thank you to our site facilitators that are facilitating that, and to our community partners that supported it. It was a collective effort to get everything purchased and installed. So there's only more to come there. We need to install them in every building.
Yeah, and that is such an awesome, cool thing, and it's true. And you see it, kids don't like to come to school in dirty clothes, just like probably many adults don't like to come to school and wearing the same thing that they wore the day before. So, yeah. Thanks, Julie. Okay. So we are going to do a lot of talking about planning and year-end information. That was also fun, and now we're getting to the drier stuff. I'm very sorry. I will try to keep my energy level up, but like I said, I had a 6:15 meeting this morning at Denny's. And just again, for those of you who missed it, Denny's is not open at 6:15. So yeah, you might be doing a van meeting from your driver's seat. So we are, the infographic that I have up right now is essentially how we have done our family engagement planning with our PS this year. And so how Julie and I do a lot of this work together with some of our outside supports as well. But what Julie and I talk about is often, sometimes, and occasionally. So we have events like this meeting, for example, that is one of our potential often that can meet the needs of a lot of different people and is available to a lot of parents, families, staff, teachers, whoever might have some time and they want to connect. This would be one of those often events where you don't necessarily have to come every time to know what's going on, but it gets you connected to your schools. As we move up the triangle, there are things that happen less frequently, but are smaller, more impactful, more intentional ways to look at family engagement. So we'll do focus groups with our EL families. We'll do our partnership with the Diversity Council in our town halls. We do listening sessions, different grade level content. So like right now you're seeing a lot of 5th grade graduations or transitions discussions with families where we're helping do a softer or warm transition from middle or elementary school to middle and so on. So these are all different ways we can engage our community and engage our families. And then if you look at the very top of the triangle, we're talking about porch visits, home visits, individual calls. We might connect our youth housing specialist or our homework starts with home specialist to families who need some intentional reach out and some intentional support and engagement to help get reconnected to school. So as you think about the next questions that we're asking, think about the different ways that maybe you are exposed to family engagement in your school. As Heidi talked about, hearing from parents and families, the different lens of what it might look like to me as a staff member could be very different than what it looks like for Heidi's parents or for like Lucy who's on the call, or even like Leah and Maggie and Sarah, our school supports, and our community members. It can be very different for all of us, but these are some of the things that are happening within the school that we're working to do to partner with families and outside partners in order to build and boost student achievement. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the family engagement survey together now. We're going to take a few minutes on the call because when Lisa Bleeker kindly emailed it out in our minutes, but we only got one response. So I need some good feedback from all of you. So we're going to take a few minutes. I will give you, the link is in the chat right now. It's 9:52. You can use the long link or the short link, whichever one you want to click on there. Let's take until 9:57 to complete that. I'm not letting you off the struggle bus. You are going to have to actually do this survey.
Melissa, it says you need permission when I click the link.
Okay. Lisa Bleeker, could you? Is it just outside if you don't have a Google address? Is anyone else having trouble clicking in? Janine, it worked?
No trouble using my district one.
Okay, does
Okay.
anyone know where those would come to me, or is it going to come via Gmail?
Did you try the short link? Because the short link works.
I tried the short link, but I said I need a password.
Yeah, same thing for me.
So we're gonna need to change those permissions. And what I can do is, so those of you who are in it, Lisa, you need to share it with me because I think you actually created that.
Okay.
I
And
can
then
get in with, sorry, I can get in with Elliot's student ID. Would
That
that work?
works. Yeah, that works. We'll get on it. The rest of you can take it, and I apologize to those who
Okay.
don't have it yet. I'll fix it quick.
Try it again, because there was a restrict to users ISD 535, and I took that off. So try it again.
Worked for me.
Yay, perfect. Okay, we are going to now take till 9:58 to finish. Jean Marvin and Lisa Bleeker, would you guys mute your mics? Jean is working so hard she doesn't hear me. She's singularly focused.
You can mute her.
Sorry, I couldn't get it. I'm doing it now. Thank you. Bye. Okay, our thumbs up for the ones who have your cameras on if you're good to go. Okay. Perfect, thank you. Amy and Lisa, or Amy and Lucy and Lindy, does that mean you need more time? Okay, Lucy needs just a smidge more time.
I finished.
Okay.
Okay. So the next thing that I'm looking at is the calendar for next year, a little bit of review and feedback. And this is something that we haven't particularly done in the past, but I want the group to, I want to be super transparent. I want the group to be aware of kind of the planning that happens for us in the spring. And then what I would like you to do is, so this is a sample of the thought process looking forward to October. Now, Lisa is going to share the link to the calendar in the chat. Once you get into the calendar, what I would like you to do is you look across the bottom and there are tabs for each month. So it'll probably open up in July, but nothing's on July. August, so if you click over through August, September, October, I just want you to take a look and think back to the triangle of supports and family engagement. And Lisa, you're going to have to change the access on the calendar as well. But think back about the triangle of calendar of family engagement. What is missing? What needs to be changed or removed? Individual school events are not on this particular calendar. This is looking at a few of the district-wide things that we have going on and options for families that we might have going on. So can I get a thumbs up if you're able to get in? Seeing no thumbs up. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so I'm starting to see some RPS people get in there. Let me do one more time. Okay, I'm repasting it into the chat, and everyone should have access. If you can give me a thumbs up if you are able to get in there. Okay, so think about, and we can look and talk. You're going to probably have some questions because I realize I haven't really shared this widely with the group in the past, but you know, as you look at the things that are happening in September and October, what kind of questions do you have? What are you seeing that you might think is missing? That sort of thing. Step into learning. I'm hearing, or I'm seeing that we can certainly add those dates and times. If you feel uncomfortable sharing out loud or have questions, I put a Jamboard in the chat as well. You could type Post-its in there, and I will collect those after the meeting. So the Oak Terrace evening, prior to COVID, I was doing 1 night a month out at Oak Terrace, meeting with parents, addressing questions, working specifically to meet the needs of our Latin parents, our Latinx parents. And so those are nights where I just go and listen. We call them cookies and conversation, essentially. I do those in a few areas around the community. I do those with like our HRA, our Housing Redevelopment Authority apartments. Okay, so meet the teacher nights, back to school nights. Okay, monthly mental health and well-being team meetings on the calendar. Yes, we can put those on the calendar. This is sort of, I imagine those will continue. We'll take notes and I'll figure out a way if we can do planning in advance. Denise and her team plans a lot of those. So I'll see if we can work together to get those on our calendar, our mutual calendar. So this calendar just is one that is shared between the family engagement team. The RPS, all of these events will essentially be on the RPS calendar that is shared out on the RPS page, but this is a chance to have a voice in some of the planning. So, and it's an opportunity to see that district family engagement is more than a 2-hour meeting once a month. We do a lot of different evening events. We connect with families in a lot of different ways. So this is all of you. So the Jamboard, this is a way for all of you to see some of those night things that are happening too. The Jamboard is put in the chat. If you scroll up a little bit, oh, Lisa put it in the chat again. So Lucy, if you click it, you'll see the Jamboard. I'm seeing one Post-it note, a lot of great changes to connect with the community. Thank you for the changes. You're welcome. Any other things you might see, feel free to drop in on the Jamboard. If this is your first time with the Jamboard, there's a toolbar it's on my left-hand side. Sometimes it's on other people's. You can click this little thing, that little square that looks like a Post-it note, and that will bring up a sticky note that you can type on and drop onto the Jamboard. There's also, you can just do a simple text box if you want. I see some people are trying out the pens, and you can erase. There's a pen and eraser there as well. So feel free to drop anything you think of as we move on the Jamboard. I like it when people are trying the pen. Okay, so that's the calendar for next year. Any questions off the bat? That will stay open. So if you want to leave the link open in your on your computer desktop while you think about it during the day, that's totally fine. Okay, the next part, why we're doing all this, why we're talking about the triangle, and why we're talking about the calendar for next year. We do have some new guidance from the Department of Education. Some of you may have seen that. Some of you may not have seen that. Probably if you're an elementary parent or have elementary kids, You know that there's no more masks at recess, which is super exciting for the kids. There are some changes that are happening. We know that graduation plans are changing. We're not quite sure what they're going to look like, but we've been told we'll know more this week. I'm copying a link. Oops. I'm going to copy a link for all of you to put in the chat so that you can see specifically what the guidance from the Department of Education is. And if you have questions about maybe changes that are happening in your schools, it's because we're specifically taking guidance from the Department of Education and, of course, the CDC. So those couple things have an influence on our future family engagement and our family engagement policy. So although I would love just having coffee and meeting every month and talking about all the fun, cool things that are happening in everyone's lives, there is some objectives to why we meet and why we're here. We know that when families are connected to school, it boosts student achievement on a real basic level. If families feel like they belong, they feel like they can walk into the school and have their questions answered, kids do better. So we know that much. So part of what we're required to do is both a student, parent, and family engagement policy at our different Title I sites. And then district-wide, we're asked to do a district and student, parent, and family engagement policy. The policy is not to be confused with the school board policy. So this is not school board policy. We should think of this more like a plan rather than a policy, even though the words that MDE are choosing is that word. We think of it as a plan that we submit to MDE to let them know how we're engaging with families, how we're using our title funding, and what we're doing to keep families connected. So part of our requirements that are met through this is the survey that we just did as a group. So that's one small piece. We also have the option and the opportunity to meet as a smaller group to give specific feedback on this document that is submitted to the district, to the Department of Education. I know, so super exciting, right? Like there's nothing you can think of that might be more fun than spending 2 hours talking about MDE, right? So what I have done, I put the link to this document, this template in the chat. And what I would like to do is invite any of you who are interested to participate in a meeting on June 11th from 9 to 11 to get more specific feedback specifically on this wonderful document that I have pasted in the chat. So you have access to the document. It's just a template. It's a generic, unfilled document where we have to include the pieces that we want to continue to incorporate into our family engagement policy and plan. Now, the calendar tells you some of what the work that I'm doing to hopefully connect families to schools, but this is an opportunity for parents, families, staff to give feedback to what they want to hear and see in the family engagement policy and plan. So June 9th, 9 to 11. If you're interested, you could please shoot me an email. That was a lot of slides on a little thing, but it's an important little thing. Next, upcoming events in Rochester. Okay, this is where it gets exciting and fun again. So we have happening right now our every year our RPS and our American Indian Parent Advisory Committee host a traditional powwow or wasipi to celebrate our Native American graduates. This year, in order to keep our students and families and community members safe, the powwow is being hosted virtually. So, and it's happening all this week with different videos. I will copy this. So, Lisa, I know I'm like taking some of your job. It's a control issue. I'm sorry. In the chat is the link to the powwow. It's happening all week. Julie Ruzek, what else exciting information am I missing there? I know there are going to be drummers, singers, dancers.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, sorry. Oh no, my camera won't work. Sorry. So powwow is actually happening on Saturday, and it's powwow week this week, and each day of this week we're kind of highlighting different aspects of American Indian culture from some of our local families, local or statewide authors you can see up on the screen. And then the actual powwow piece happens on Saturday. So please keep following this link that Melissa has pasted. And just feel free to share it with whoever you want. What you'll see is that on Saturday, it's the powwow piece is not a traditional powwow. And it's just pieces or segments of what you might see at a traditional powwow that has been hosted in the district in the past. But in an effort to keep everyone safe, especially the elders from the Native American communities that normally participate with us, everything was decided to be online this year. So thank you for watching and join us virtually. I think there's a hashtag too that you can share the information with. I can get that for you. And feel free to share it broadly and widely. And kudos to Regan Kluver and her sub while she was out on family medical leave because there's a new baby in her house for putting it all together. Thanks, Lucy. The hashtag is in the chat.
Thanks, Julie. Fun stuff. Remind me again what the traditional bread is called? That's the sad thing, is that people won't get to like that taste.
Indian fry bread.
Yeah. So
you will see a video of a family. I don't know if that's today, but it is coming up this week. One of our families in the district recorded a video of how they make Indian fry bread at their house.
Yum. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Another exciting information, and this is really new information, I think just came out this morning. So the school district announced the interim superintendent finalists, and you can see and you can visually participate on their, and because it's new, I'm fumbling, I'm working on their, I think, interviews or informational sessions about them. I've pasted the chat in the YouTube in the chat. Jean, can you help me about what we're going to see?
Yeah, you can watch all 3 interviews. We're starting at 4 o'clock today. And then we have a group of about 30-some people from different communities and different parts of the school district who will be providing input. So those people have a form, and they'll be, they won't be asking questions, but they will be giving input that the board will look at. And then all 3 will be interviewed this afternoon and early evening, and then the board will be meeting again on Thursday to determine which one to offer the position to.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you for helping with that. And it sounds like, Nicole, you have an an ALC student who is on the interview panel. That's so cool and fun.
There are actually going to be 4 students from different high schools from ALC, and we have a representative from the American Indian Parents Group, from NAACP, the Diversity Council, Chamber of Commerce, and then a number of people from the school district, from student nutrition services, clerical, principals, you name it. So we'll get a lot of feedback from a lot of people.
Thank you so much, Jean, and thank you for your hard work on that. Yeah, and knowing the names, you know, there's a lot of opportunity to do a lot of research. We know, like, the internet creates a little pathway for all of us. So feel free to watch on YouTube as those interviews happen. And that will be exciting. And Carrie says, Carrie has a question. Whoever is selected, will they have the opportunity for the long-term post in the future?
Yes, they will. All three candidates seem like they're amazing, but we will be doing the process for the long-term superintendent beginning next fall. And if any of these three, the person who is selected wants to apply for that, then that person absolutely can. Yeah, but this does not prevent that person from becoming the long-term.
And yes, Lucy, the link can be shared. The YouTube link can be shared. It is posted on RPS's Facebook page and then on the RPS main web page as well. So,
right, it'll be live streamed and recorded.
Yes. And Jean, I noticed someone in your background. I'm hoping there will be no homicides based on the presentation.
Those are some of the basement dwellers, yes.
All right, thank you. Next, I just wanted to remind everyone that there still are a couple saliva testing drop dates at the building. So remember, these are the home kits that students can order and take at home and then bring to RPS for shipping to find out if they're COVID, we're going to say if they're COVID negative, because that's the positive way to think about it. So there are a couple more of those dates in the next, one's tomorrow, one's in 2 weeks. So feel free to remind your students if they need to take one. And remember, it's not mandatory. It's just offering an opportunity for access to the testing to students in the district. They're also being offered some RPS online school listening sessions. So we know that for some of our students, online learning was a really positive experience. If you're, like I have, my niece is living with me right now, and she is very much an introvert and has decided to do all of college this way. She very much liked online learning, which means she'll be living with me for 3 more years. Woohoo! In case she sees it. No, so this is an opportunity, if you have a child that was thriving in this situation, to offer some feedback and hear about or talk about what worked for your kids, what didn't work. The next session that is coming is Monday, May 17th from 4 to 6. And then there's an additional one Wednesday, May 19th from 10:30 to 1:30. Again, we'll put this out in the minutes. You'll get all these slides as well, and this will be posted on YouTube, so you can rewatch the meeting if you'd like, and share it with friends as well. But for the listening sessions, those dates we'll put in the minutes, and that's your opportunity to share out. Did you have any questions about that?
I just wrote, does this include elementary students too? Because I have a friend that her kid is sick, so this helps them out too.
Yes. So RPS Online, and I don't actually know a lot about it yet. I know that the approval process just went through, I believe, MDE, and they're looking at developing a K through 12 programming. Am I right? Julie Ruzick, do you know more about that? Jean Marvin, anyone?
It is K through 12, starting next year. And we have a couple principals who will be at the meeting to share with people and to listen to their feedback.
Perfect. Thank you, Kim. Any other questions about that one? Okay, the sass is happening in the chat. Julie says what Kim said. Okay. I bring the sass, Julie. You bring the joy. Let's keep that straight. Okay. Next, Cradle to Career has some great resources for how about learning and prioritization and standards and where kids should be at kind of what grades and that sort of thing. And they've created videos that are multilingual. This is on the Cradle to Career website, but it's one way to share more information about what sort of things are happening in the district. If you have worries as a family or parent about where your child is in the learning process and if they're on track, these are just one way to get connected. And I can't remember exactly how many languages, but there are multiple languages. The voices of kids, they're fun and interesting to watch and see. So it's one more resource out there for parents. And it's on the Cradle to Career website. Julie, could you maybe drop that one in the chat for me when you get a chance?
Yes, I absolutely will. And I think I saw Claudia Tabini on this meeting too.
Oh, Claudia, do you want to talk a little bit more about those?
Sure, I am just dropping the link here.
Thank you, Claudia.
On the chat. So these videos, even though they're not perfect, are our first attempt of creating something for the community with community input. We sourced kids and grown-ups from the community to be our guests, our actors. We put these videos in as plain language as we could in order to reach parents who may not know about the standards or who may not be able to understand what they mean when they read them. I consider myself a highly educated person, and when I read one of the kindergartner ones, my kids are old now, but I freaked out because it reads, they're hard to understand if you don't know what they're talking about. So this is our first attempt at translating the wonderful job that RPS is doing and putting it in plain language. So thank you, Julie Rusick, and thank you, Melissa, for bringing this up today. So the website is on the chat, and if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me and put my email there too.
Can I add one more piece?
Yes.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, the prioritized learnings are those that came from RPS, and then Cradle to Career took them and put those into parent-friendly language. So that's been a really nice partnership between our two organizations to produce these. And then secondly, a week ago already, we sent these out to all staff. Well, I'm sorry, elementary staff, because right now it's only focused at the elementary level. So all elementary teachers should have received these in those different languages to share with families as well. And probably, Claudia, do you want to talk just a second about what you're hoping for in the future from a few RPS staff?
Yes. So our hope is to create some sort of a Facebook-like live event. We have received great feedback that is a great way to reach parents. So the idea would be to show, for example, the kindergarten readiness videos and have a teacher from RPS who would be the content expert. Parents could be at the Facebook event. We would show the video, and then the teacher could be there to even further answer any questions or any doubts or explain anything, any details that we for sure missed on the videos. So parents gain even a better understanding and a better connection between RPS and the parents and the families working all together. So if we could find some teachers that would love to do that, we would be very happy to host that.
Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, so it's c2cmn.com if you want to check out more about Cradle to Career, find out all the cool work that they're doing. And there's lots of good things to dig in on the website. This is just one small piece of it. So thank you, Claudia, for joining us, and thanks for sharing what's happening with Cradle to Career right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Next, I just want to bring up that Franklin and Mayo High School are coming together to do a community meal with pizza. And so they're doing it in 2 places. And it actually is on Peach Jar. So if you're wanting access to the flyer, it is on Peach Jar to everyone. But they're doing one at Oak Terrace Parkside, the trailer parks, and one at Friendship Place. And they're community meals out in the community, trying to get connected to families in those areas. But you are welcome to come. I will be there cheerleading, and there will be lots of different good community connections. Again, I know it's small on this website, or on this flyer, and you'll get this so you can bring it up and make it big on your screen when you're after the meeting, but it is also available to you on Peach Jar. I wanted to bring to everyone's attention that there was a note put out about graduation this year. And it's essentially some of what I said in the beginning, that we found out from the governor that there's going to be an opportunity for a potentially different looking graduation than we had imagined even a couple weeks ago. So the mask standards are changing. How many people can be indoors at a time, some of those rules are changing. So the leadership at Rochester Public Schools is doing the best they can to accommodate a celebration for our seniors that still keeps families and parents and students safe, but also make sure that we're recognizing the seniors who had a really kind of hard year. So we'll get more information on this later in the week. This is also on Rochester Public Schools Facebook page or on the main page of RPS in the news. So keep watching for more information on what graduation is going to look like and what opportunities we will have to celebrate our seniors in a little different way. Any other comments or information on that anyone wants to share? Amy Ward, I know you have a couple seniors, and I'm sure it's super relaxing in your house, not knowing what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. But stay tuned. You'll know later this week for sure. Steve Willman also has a senior nodding his head. You guys got this. You got this. On that note, we are still offering some mental health supports for May. And if, let me see, I'm going to put the link in the chat for, Steve says, Heather's got this. I received the invite. That's beautiful. Your kids are looking good for sure. So we are offering May Mental Health Critical Routines and Child-Centered Connection. So these mental health moments are happening, events are happening in each of the schools at different times and different locations. So really the best way to connect about attending one of these events is reaching out to your school specifically. I've also put the chat and the link to the emotional and mental well-being teams page, so you have a better idea about what's happening across the district in terms of mental health. We've been hosting these different events focused on mental health every month of the school year so far. So this is May's, it'll be our last one of the year, and then I'm sure they're looking at different ways to continue these events into the fall. And I know Lindy mentioned earlier in the meeting putting these on the calendar. I will connect with our emotional and mental well-being teams to see if we can't coordinate so that that calendar invite is on the district-wide calendar as well. We have been doing top 5 videos in multiple languages. I think we have 10 languages that we've been putting out top 5 videos for since January. These are created by the family engagement team, the EL team. So Kim McDonald, Julie Ruzek, Brian Botham, Heather Nestler have all had a really big piece of putting together these videos, and they've been viewed in March alone, I think we had 1,000 views. So they're getting some traction. That said, this month's video is late because of the change with graduation. So we don't have May's videos out yet, and we're just waiting to hopefully get that graduation piece dumped in there, and then these videos are made quickly by our interpreters. We connect to our RITS team, our video team here, and they are on a playlist on the Rochester Public Schools YouTube page. So we will continue to put these out, and we're hope to get some more basic ones done through the summer so that we can talk to specifically get to connect to our non-native English speaking families about things like sports registration, signing up for lunches, kind of all those basic needs information that's readily available to the English speakers. We want to make sure that we are being equitable in our communication sharing, and this is one way that we're working to do that. Couple more and then we'll be done. I'll let you guys go early. I know this is a lot of information, but we're coming up on the summer and I want to make sure everybody has some resources going into the summer. Olmsted County created this flyer. It's also on Peach Jar. I can distribute it as well. It will come out with the minutes of this meeting. But if you're looking for food support, cash support, rent help, Olmsted County put out kind of this one catch-all page flyer to help for those of you needing access, or if you know someone, if you're a social worker in the school and you want to put out some summer information for families, this is a great resource. It's kind of a catch-all resource for some of what's happening through Olmsted County or some of the supports through Olmsted County. Meal kits are continuing to happen for families in distance learning. They are distributed at John Marshall on Thursdays. There we go. Thursdays from 3:45 to 5. If you have questions or need help registering, Student Nutrition Services has that link, and you can reach them at 328-4217. Again, you'll get that in the minutes when this goes out. So just be aware that those meal kits are still happening for families in distance learning. Library or public library is doing walk-ups. So if you need access to the public library, there are some great opportunities happening, and you can actually get in there a little bit to use the internet, browse and borrow materials, which is fun. Some things are starting to open up, which is exciting for all of us. That is all kind of my informational piece. And next we're going to move on to our closing, unless you guys have any questions on all that sort of informational stuff that I just dumped on you.
Hey, Melissa, it's Julie again.
Yeah.
Back to the food meal kits. Just a reminder that we are also working specifically with the Oak Terrace neighborhood and Channel 1 and Student Nutrition Services to grow our relationship with the families at Oak Terrace. And that meal plan will continue through the summer as well.
Yes, and Lindy, there will be summer meal locations for the kids, and they will be at our, well, there's a couple of things happening. I totally just realized I have no slide on the Summer of Discovery, which is a huge gap. I think it's because I've been so entrenched in it that I didn't realize people maybe don't know about it. So this year, our summer programming is called Summer of Discovery, and it's going to look a little different than past years. This year, it's going from June 14th to July 1st, first 3-week session. The second 3-week session, and I'll put this information in the minutes as well, so you don't have to scramble to write it down. But the second session will be July 14th through July 30th. Forgive me if it's the last 3 weeks, Monday through Thursday of those last 3 weeks. The programming runs 8 to 2 each day. Lunches will be available at those schools, so they're working on the lunch programming, and I hope to have more official looking information to share with all of the family engagement distribution list as Student Nutrition Services is ready for that information to go out. But meals will be served at the school sites and then some additional off-site locations as well. Julie mentioned Oak Terrace. I think there's potentially 2 other locations, Julie, is that correct? Silver Lake Park, potentially.
Silver Lake. Oh, I don't remember the other one.
And Meadow Park. We'll get clarity on that for sure before we get the minutes out. But Summer of Discovery is a little bit more robust than it's been in the past. It's experiential learning, so the kids are going to get dirty, which is very exciting. They're going to spend a lot of time outside. That was by invitation, so if you know some students that got the invitation, encourage them to, I think the deadline has passed, but I am imagining if there's a kid or 2 that wants to be added, there is an opportunity to still get added. The Summer of Discovery is looking a little different than the potential credit recovery at the high school sites, but the weeks and hours are fairly the same. What else am I missing? You guys help me with the Summer of Discovery for those who have been in the planning. Okay, Lucy, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What is the Summer of Discovery? I don't know if I'm supposed to know that.
Well, I'm trying to avoid saying summer school.
That's what I thought. But okay, good. All right, very good.
Summer of Discovery is the programming that we're doing this summer. It's more robust. It's intended to be engaging. We're trying to move away from the summer school of the past and create a different kind of energy. Yes, Kim.
Can I just add that there will be some field trips for kids. There are some experience-based things. There's academic things. There will be mental health supports. So we're trying to serve the whole child more and link that with resources such as breakfast and lunch. And we can still register kids. We'd like them registered pretty soon because actually the turnaround for busing to transport is what will be our biggest hurdle, is to make sure that we can get that done, because that's a big job and a short time before we start. Kids can also go to the first session, the second session, or both.
And I see Julie has her hand up. One thing too I would like to mention is school ends June 4th. Summer of Discovery starts June 14th. Celebrate your teachers if you haven't had a chance. Celebrate support staff. People are working so hard, and I'm so proud of the work that's being done. It's I'm connected in a small way, and even for me, it's feeling a little overwhelming. So let's celebrate the teachers and staff if you get a chance to. Julie?
One more thing to keep in mind for Summer of Discovery is that this is a 3-year project. So this is just year 1 of 3. So it's coming together really quickly this summer, but we'll spend time this next school year really refining and retuning to make the next few summers even better. And along those same lines, we're holding a Summer of Discovery partner meeting with Cradle to Career tomorrow at 11:30. It's a virtual meeting. So if this goes out into space, or if you know of any potential partners that would like to work with Rochester Public Schools over the summer, please connect with me and I can send that link.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. Okay, with that, I'm going to give you guys a full 15 minutes back. So when we thought about the beginning and thought about like maybe some successes that we've had, if you've all helped me today, so that someone I will help today, and I want you to kind of get a mental picture of someone that you can encourage or lend a helping hand to or send a kind email to, and that can be something that you're proud of for the next meeting that we have. So thank you all. I will hang out for a few more minutes if anyone has questions. Otherwise, have a good day.
Hey, Melissa, was there a updated family meal flyer?
I have not seen one yet. As soon as I do, Nicole, I'll make sure it gets shared.
Or can we get these slides? I kind of want to, I should have taken just a screenshot of it, just like the,
Here, do you want me to go back?
Yeah, I'll take one quick now.
Okay.
One more. Yep.
Bye, Melissa. This was great. So much information that I am so happy to hear all the things you guys are doing for the community, and it is both heartwarming and gives me so much hope and makes my